Welcome back, Greg. That was a great overview. It was a real insight into basically where you started and where things ended up, and the result was fantastic. I understand now today we're going to cover the subject of what is sales. Basically, we're going to go back to basics, and that is very important for every single salesperson to fully understand what actually is the basics, because I think we can both agree there's false information out there on how to do things, and we're going to set the record straight on that, aren't we?
Well, absolutely. And thank you for having me back. And it was great to have an opportunity to go over my background and how it applies. And I'm really looking forward to this topic in particular.
Excellent. Well, let's crack on. Let's hear your take on it.
Great. Well, I think where to start is to talk about how valuable sales is, and that there really needs to be the proper kind of exchange for the sales effort. I've heard this over and over again in my career is, you could have the greatest new invention in the world and nobody knows about it, so nobody buys it.
Absolutely. Yeah.
Yeah. And without sales, without getting it out there, it's not so much about having the best product, unfortunately. It's really more about who's best known and promoting the company and the product and having a team that is persistent and knows how to go out and really be genuine in trying to help people. Sales isn't just about generating income or money or only about money. I mean, that's important to drive things. I mean, money is what makes things move and what, makes things happen. At the same time, having the mindset of, hey, I really am interested in wanting to help people and being genuine about that is really what is important and valuable. I feel that that's what differentiates the really strong, successful, highly motivated salesperson versus money motivated only.
Yeah, I totally get that. I see the money side of it as just a way of viewing how busy you've been or how successful you've been. It's not something to sort of drool over. It's like, yeah, it's great, when you hit targets and you break targets and stuff like that. That's great. But I definitely see what you're saying. There is another factor to sales that drives sales, not just money. Yeah.
Oh, absolutely. And don't get me wrong, money it's important. It's what allows the company or yourself to develop the product or to market the product, to get things out there. It's what we've all agreed upon as the exchange for goods and services. And it should be a good exchange. The difference is when somebody's walking into an account or a customer and they're only thinking about how am I going to get this guy's money, right? Versus, well, how am I going to help this person with what I have available? It's a totally different view. It's a totally different approach and mindset. And I'll tell you, I really, being on both sides of the fence, someone who is a customer and someone who's on the sales side, I can smell it a mile away. And I think what happens is when customer sees that the person isn't really interested in helping them, they're only interested in getting money, then it creates some distrust and um, some that's where I feel like the negative side of things comes in. And on the customer side, don't confuse someone's persistence and insistence with, pressure. It's that they feel that strongly about, hey, I've got the solution. I really know this will help you. I really know that this will is what will do what you need. And I would be remiss, I would be, not doing my job to make sure that you get it as soon as possible. that's a big difference between, hey, I want your money, give me the money, give me, boop, boop, boop.
Yeah, I totally get that. It's the take on that I see is the care factor, caring about the person in front of you. Do you ever want to see them again? You know, you can force that sale through, and they get home and then they bring it back. No one wants that. But if you problem solution and you're caring about someone, you're thinking about their needs, then they come back. They become like your best ambassador. They go out and tell their friends and family, hey, speak to Bob down at the shop.
That's right. Absolutely. That's totally true. And I would rather have a customer for life than have an order for the day.
Absolutely, I'm of the same mindset. It's also more satisfying. You feel like you've got some job satisfaction, you've got an achievement there, and yeah,
Oh, totally. And it happens too where, I genuinely become interested in the people that I'm working with, the customers, and to this day, I've made some lifelong friends that were customers. That's how we met. And and of course, it's similar with other colleagues that are in the company that I've worked with or worked for. But I'm very proud to say that I'm genuinely um, interested in the people that I'm working with and having made friends to this day from, decades ago that we still talk and get together and, it's and get real. Like they know what's going on in my life and I know what's going on in their life. It's not just a oh, hi, how are you kind of a thing.
yeah, totally get it. Totally in agreement with you. So there you go. We've rewritten the basic beginning of sales.
Well, sure, sure. And again, w- it really does, it starts to come down to short term versus medium and long term. And do agree that it is important to have short term, cycles or short term opportunities and sales. But if it's only short term all the time, you're really missing the value and it can steer the ship right into the rocks because you're not looking far enough ahead and only think then it really does become about only about the dollar or the euro or the money, the currency. It's only about that. It's not about really helping.
Totally see that. I've had a few friends who've gone on the short term, and one for one, they've burnt out. It's like, it's great. They made some money, quick smash and grab, but they never made it. They ended up either getting the push because they just didn't meet their boss's expectations. Boss gets someone else in who's got the energy, and off he goes again. So I sort of see how that can happen in life, particularly with like telesales. You don't get that interaction.
Yeah.
But yeah, you've really got to factor in the your own personal emotional side of things because coming to work has to have a meaning, has to have a purpose. It has to be something you can go home and go, hey, you know what? I had a really good day. But yeah, I guess it boils down to also maybe individual taste. But given the choice, that's exactly what I would do: is just have something a bit more meaningful. Yeah,
Oh, I completely agree. And I think too, over time, there's been this talk or concept of being a trusted advisor. And agreed, I think if you really can create a more of a trusted advisor relationship, that's incredible. Again, though, I think that people have used that term and then not really been a trusted advisor. So then when people hear that, they kind of go, yeah, yeah, you're just another sales guy. Okay, fine. I look at it too and say, really being an advocate for the customer. And that can be within the company that I say worked for or work for. So we have a product or a service, and providing it to the customer and advocating for the customer the best solution, the best service, the best time frame, whatever it might be. Or, you hear this a lot too, being the voice of the customer. Because how can the company that has the product be providing or creating or supplying something if you don't have the feedback about what's needed and wanted directly from the customer? Jonathan, you'd be amazed at how many big companies and companies in general come up with solutions or product ideas and they never spoke to the customers.
Well,
It's incredible.
you know what? I wouldn't actually because I've done it myself.
Well, yeah, I think we all have. It's like, wow, this would be great, and if I was doing, oh, I want this, but then is that the same as what's really out there? And it doesn't always line up.
You're right. Absolutely. Yep. I've done it a few times and it didn't line up. So I would say the smartest thing is finding out what your customer really needs and wants. Yeah.
Well, sure, and
Hmm?
there's a fine line, I think, between being only a voice of a customer and then also looking at trying to standardize and have common product platforms so that you don't have everything customized. I think there's a fine line, but you do still, regardless, you still want to have a good understanding directly from the customer and take that into account. And unfortunately, I think there are too many businesses that don't really do that. Well, Jonathan, I think we really covered a good topic there, and it's a really good start to the rest of the discussions that we'll be having is, the real value of sales and how important it is to business and to customers and creating long-lasting relationships.
That's excellent, Greg. Yeah, I really enjoyed that. And it is very good just to go back to basics and just look at it again. So, yeah, on that note, what is the next topic?
Well, I really feel that what's really important is to talk about business development. What is business development? It is sales. It's a bit of a different approach, and it really is more of that medium and long term approach to business and how, if it's done properly and consistently, can also turn into the short term.
Fantastic. I look forward to that. I'll see you in a few days and we'll do the next one.
Great.
Excellent. Thanks, Greg.
Thank you.